it seems like when you're doing a creature or some character in a movie and you have prosthetics on, you have all these things on, it feels like, and especially if you don't speak a lot, it's your body that expresses all these things, your emotions and things have to come out. And it just seems like that's harder. Right. If you have lines, you could say some lines and people go, oh, that's sad that his brother died. Right. But when you have to emote all this shit, I mean, don't you have to work harder, you think?
Yeah, sure. Well, you have to work different, maybe not harder. I believe that dialogue comes in visuals and verbal, right?
Right.
And we all speak it every day, but we're not so aware of the visuals that we're giving. So when you are playing a creature that has no written verbal dialogue lines, you have tons of dialogue that is visual to get a point across, to get an emotion across, to get a relationship across. The Shape of Water is probably the most near and dear to me as far as the nonverbal characters that I've played.
Right.
The amphibian man in that didn't speak a word. He was an animal from the wild, and he's falling in love with a mute woman. So she didn't speak either. So the two of us had to find a completely on-screen language with each other that the audience would buy.
Right. Yeah.
So I've had tons of dialogue over the years, whether it's spoken or shown.
Right. But we'll get into this again, Shape of Water. But I know that the director, I always mess his name up.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro, who I love.
I've heard everything over the years. What's it like working with Guillermo?
What's up with Guillermo del Toro? But he said something to you in The Shape of Water before you started filming.
Yes.
I saw an interview with you.
Oh, okay.
And he said something to you which sounds pretty frightening, but it's like, what did he say to you?
Dougie, you will be the romantic leading man of this movie. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep, exactly.
And I'm thinking, like, you just told me about this being a fish person, so that's going to be, there's a tall order, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the next breath, I thought to myself, Guillermo del Toro is the one director who can pull this off, as far as like writing it and guiding me through it, and he sure did.
But didn't he say something like, "You're playing an animal"? And but we have to love you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I have to. The audience has to buy that this woman is falling in love with me. So I have to have a romance to me. I have to have a sexy look. The look of the amphibian man went through a year of tweaks and changes and color changes and shape changes. The ass and the lips were the two areas on the fish man that were the most retooled over
Really? They wanted you to have a nice ass?
Oh gosh, yeah. And I'll tell you what, I knew that they pulled that off. It was glued onto me, by the way. It wasn't my ass. I had to give it back every day. But but I knew the ass was working when we're all sitting on our set chairs, between shot setups, and I stand up to walk away, and Octavia Spencer says, That's when I knew that we pulled it off.
Really?
Yeah.
That was it.